Since the last one, I've done a few exciting things with the engine, and I just kind of wanted to ramble about them for a minute. So to start, I added textures, and that one was interesting. So with each object, I added a variable, just an integer, like a number that'll store like 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, or so on and so forth. We use it to get the 2D position of the texture in our atlas. Our atlas is a giant 10 by 10 texture grid. It's one picture, but with 100 textures in it. Then after that, the shader just kind of interpolates it across whatever the UV map was set as from Blender, since I import the UV map also in my import method. Which kind of makes the texturing really easy. I just do the UV map in Blender and then bam, it's done. Just assign the texture ID and then there we go, we have working textures. After I got textures working, I was like, well, what do I do next? So I really sat and thought about it and realized that I only had models that I hard-coded into the engine. If I wanted a tree, I needed to actually hard-code the address to the tree and load it in as an object. If I wanted a wall, so on and so forth. So I designed a file picker method that should work on Linux and Windows, and using this, it'll open the file picker in Windows or whatever OS you have. And using this, you can choose a GLTF format file from a GLTF format file from Blender and just automatically import it directly into the engine. There's no more hard coding objects in there. I can just bring them in. And once it's in there and it's saved as a model by clicking save, it's just there. It can be loaded at any time. Now the perk of this is actually comes in with my next little bit. After that, I was like, well, we're on a roll these 24 hours. Let's really get with it. And SFML has a network module, and considering I'm using SFML for audio already, all I have to do is just add that module to my linker. So using that, I did up a mock LAN connection with just hard-coded values and got a successful multiplayer. Now, originally it was just represented as an icosphere that moved around, and it was kind of jittery and it wasn't great. We had flickering from assigning the same object to two different players at the same time, and there was all sorts of problems with it. But after spending about 8 hours really just refining the class, we now have a working multiplayer class that sends proper player disconnects, position, rotation, all of it simultaneously, 60 frames a second netcode. And now, after all of that, I can do this. If it's wanted, I can go into the nitty-gritty details in a separate video, but I just figured ideally going over it as a general subject for the devlogs would be kind of nice. If I need the in-depth structure, it can be its own video. So yeah, at the end of the day, the engine runs on the ROG, the engine runs on the computer, the engine runs on the third computer, and we have netcode. Multiplayer in the engine. It's looking a little rough, it's looking like a shitty Minecraft Steve, but I'll take what I can get right now. It was a real pain in the ass to do the texture for. Besides, I'm pretty partial to the silly little face.